Welcome back. Wednesday morning, and we're looking at all the stocks that you should focus on today. Our team is standing by with the CNBC-TV18 list of top stocks to watch. Well, let's start off with what else but Vedanta. Now, Nigel, just the other day we thought they've done some restructuring on the bonds and it's a breather. And now one of the rating agencies goes and downgrades them.
Well, that's right.
What's happening?
Moody's has gone ahead and downgraded Vedanta Resources rating on both their corporate family rating as well as on the senior unsecured issuers. Now, they have maintained the negative outlook on the company, given it's considered poor quality with very high credit risk. That's what they're saying out there, and that's why the rating has been downgraded, which is up for you on the screen. Moody's view is that the recent restructuring as default avoidance, and they say the near-term liquidity will improve very slightly. The reasons for this downgrade is that Vedanta has unsustainable capital structure characterized by high financial leverage at the holding company, with weak liquidity amid large negative free cash flows, and they state that the company will face material liquidity issues over the next 24 months. That's the reason that they believe that the default risk continues to remain high. So put all this together, well, maybe a bit of a negative take because Vedanta Resources is getting downgraded. But I'll tell you what will be. The street is a buzz that maybe Mr. Anil Agarwal has a plan. So if he has a plan, we'll have to hear about it shortly. For the time being, because of this downgrade, expect the stock to be under some pressure.
Okay, all right. That is Vedanta. We'll watch out for this one. Well, earnings season has kicked off, and the first stock we're looking at from an earnings perspective is actually Delta Corp. And Mangalam's here. Mangalam, here it seems the chips are not adding up.
The chips are not adding up. In fact, people aren't gambling even in a season because you have poor results. This is the peak season quarter for Delta Corp. Third quarter, usually December, Goa, we talk about all those crowds, but revenues are down 15%. And because it's a high operating leverage business, the EBITDA as a result of which down 45% and the net profit is down 59%. The key culprit on the revenue has been the casino gaming division, where the revenues have declined by 18% and the operational profit has nearly halved from same time last year. Online gaming as well continues to be sluggish, 9% decline out there, even as it makes an EBIT loss. And hospitality, everyone's talking about great trends for Indian hotel companies, etc. That business has grown just 8.5% on a revenue basis and not so much from an operational performance basis as well. Delta Corp has been an underperformer and there have been a lot of regulatory issues. The company, however, says that they haven't made any provision yet because they're pretty confident of going through with all these regulatory issues, and they will fight for it. For now, see the stock in the red, largely because of weak fundamental performance.
All right, Mangalam, thanks very much for that. Let's bring in Sonal now. She's standing by. Polycab, there was some signs of life towards the end. The stock recovered, but then ended lower, pretty much at the low point of the day. There was that sort of alleged tax evasion, etc. But Polycab, the company clarified later to the exchanges. Sonal is here with more. Sonal.
Well, yes, just to give you some context, sources had suggested that there's been some tax evasion at Polycab's offices. An IT department claimed tax evasion of 200 crore rupees and detected 250 to 300 crore worth transactions booked in promoter accounts itself. But they did clarify to CNBC-TV18 first, and we did speak about it yesterday as well. They denied any reports of tax evasion. They have not received any communication from the IT department on this outcome. And they had responded to clarification and details sought by IT department after the search that they had made. And this is something that they have reiterated in the exchange filing as well, where they say there is no tax evasion by the company. They have fully cooperated with the IT department during the search proceedings in December 2023. And also they have not received any communication after this search and no idea of seizure as well. So this is a clarification that has come by. Let's see which way things go and how does the street take this clarification, because there was a big fall in the stock price yesterday.
Okay, all right, Sonal, let's see how Polycab plays out today. Thank you for that. Up next, I'm going to put SpiceJet on the radar because of an exclusive story that our colleague Danish brought in yesterday. This was post-market hours. It seems that there's a lot of interest among equity investors for, a fundraise that SpiceJet is looking at. There's a AGM today, and SpiceJet is going to be seeking approval to raise 2,250 crores. Now, Carlyle Aviation is already an investor in SpiceJet. They hold 7% equity. And what Danish is picking up is that they are very keen on seeing further expansion of the airline. And there was perhaps a meeting of senior Carlyle executives with Mr. Ajay Singh as well. So that's a positive sort of buzz that surrounds the stock. Not just this, SpiceJet has also made its interest very clear in bidding for Go First and getting more planes up in the air. So looking at, big booster shot for growth. and a fundraise to support that. So that's a stock that's going to be in focus as well. Let's move on now and look at some pharma names that might be in the news today, might be active. Ekta is joining in for that. Ekta, morning.
Morning. Well, I'll start with Lupin. I expect a sentiment positive there because they are launching an ophthalmic product in the US. They've already received approval for it, Bromfenac ophthalmic solution, but they have exclusivity on it. So they have a first to file status. They have 180-day exclusivity on it. The market size is $182 million. So we could see maybe some amount of further momentum on the upside for Lupin just because of the launch. Remember that they've already received US FDA approval earlier. JB Chemicals, they did present at the JPM conference, which takes place every year. A couple of key points, FY27 targets include increasing their Indian pharma market position, productivity improvement of 12 to 14%, increased contribution from chronic therapies by FY27, and the CDMO business revenue, they are targeting over $100 million versus around touching $30 million by first half of FY24. So they're expecting a huge scale up in these two segments, which is chronic sales as well as in the CDMO business. Also, for the near term, the company is approaching zero net debt position as of December 31st, 2023. The operating cash flow stood at around 421 crores in first half of FY24. We know those things, but the FY27 targets, the kind of positive comments which have come in from JB Chemicals could probably drive the stock higher.
Okay, that's something to watch out for on the upside. Ekta, thanks very much for that. More stocks with news flow. Vivek is here with that list. Vivek.
Well, good morning. Quite a few stocks on the radar. First on my list is PFC. So now the company has got a no objection certificate from the RBI to set up a finance company in GIFT City, Gujarat. It'll be interesting to see how this particular company aids PFC for further fundraising activity, especially from global investors. Second stock on our radar, again, ONGC. The company is planning to set up a global treasury center. This is again at GIFT City in Gujarat. Now, the company expects to efficiently consolidate its funds available with the group in various countries, and also expect this particular entity to raise funds from the overseas entities. Now remember, ONGC has set a target of producing 40 million metric tons of oil and oil equivalent by 2040 from overseas assets. Keep an eye out for KIOCL as well, a temporary setback over there. The company has suspended operations of a Mangalore-based pellet plant with effect from January 9th. This is on account of non-availability of iron ore fines. And lastly, keep an eye out for Z as well. Lot of news flow yesterday. The stock was extremely volatile. Company has clarified to the exchanges saying that, they are committed to the merger with Sony and continuing to work towards a successful closure. This came during market hours yesterday. Also, reports indicate that the company has missed a payment deadline of $200 million to Walt Disney. This is for cricket TV rights. And along with that, yesterday in the block deal data, it has emerged that Society General net sold close to 78.5 lakh shares in the company yesterday. So expect the volatility to remain. The stock is now out of the F&O ban.
Okay, Z always in focus, and that's fresh sort of negative development. That's reports indicating payment miss to Disney for cricket rights. Thank you, Vivek, very much for that. So those are all the stocks that we'll watch out for today. Need to take a quick break on that note. On the other side, we'll discuss these and more with Deven Choksi, MD at DR Choksi FinServe, talk about some fundamental ideas for today.